This is Olivia Bailey with your sports interview on Emory and Henry Reports Today. Today I'm going to be interviewing two of my cross-country teammates, Matt and Madison Williams, who, contrary to popular belief, are not brothers. So guys, you joined the team before I did. Of course, you're older than I am, but you've been through two different coaches now. Can you kind of talk about the developments of the team and where the team has come in these past, I guess, 3 years that you guys have been on the team?
Well, under Coach Abrahamson, it was a lot less. It was a lot more just he would tell you what to do and you would go out and kind of go run. He'd say, run 6 miles. So you go out and run 6 miles. And under Coach Christian, he definitely incorporates more like speed work and switches between speed and long distance and has a lot more structured workouts.
Okay. And what do some of those workouts consist of that Coach Christian is giving now?
He does like Madison said, he does a lot of speed workouts and long runs. He's definitely utilized the trails a lot more than Coach Abrahamson did, and we stopped running on the roads, which was kind of dangerous for us anyway. So we've been running on the Creeper Trail and the Salt Trail and other trails around campus.
And what are some of the benefits that you guys have seen in your own running? Madison, I know you had a little bit of an injury, but coming from last season to this season with the implementation of trails and things like that, what benefits have you seen in your own development as an individual runner?
Well, I from first to second year, I dropped quite a bit time-wise. I ended up dropping off 5 minutes off my time, which is almost a mile off my time. So if you put me freshman year against myself now, I'd be running almost a mile faster. So it's definitely a big change for me.
And Madison, coming from last year to this year, you had a stress fracture, so you were in a boot this time last year, going into ODAC championships. What are you looking forward to coming to this week? This is the last meet of the season. What developments have you seen in your own running? I mean, even across this season, what do you expect from yourself?
Well, when I started out this season, I kind of took it really cautiously and slow because I didn't want to. I was nervous I was going to wreck my leg again, so I took it real slow. But I just wanted, for the ODAC championships, I just want to go out and prove to people that Emory Henry cross country is not as bad as people think we are.
And in saying that, being a cross country runner on the team, of course I'm on the women's team, but it doesn't get as much recognition as some of the other sports on campus do. What do you think are some of the reasons for that? With the sport in general, it's not typically a popular sport. Why do you think that is?
Well, you can't really have spectators unless you're a spectator that's willing to trek out to the middle of the woods somewhere and stand on like a trail and see a bunch of people run by. You can't really spectate. You can only stand at the finish line, and then it gets boring because you're waiting for them to come back to the finish line. So there's a pause between where you can actually like cheer for people when they're running. And then I think it's that when we do workouts, we're mostly like on the golf course or we're on trails. We're not on campus, so no one actually sees us practicing like football. You can see them every day. They're on the football field, they're on the practice fields.
And not having spectators in the sport, what motivates you when you're going on runs? I know I think of different things crossing your mind. You have about 30 minutes to run. So how do you motivate yourself personally as you're going through these runs and in meets and things like that?
I think it's a big stress reliever. I think if you go out and you run, it's a lot more of a stress reliever than, because you're outdoors, you're with nature, and you get to think about all the pressures of the day, and they kind of just go away as you run, and that's what pushes you to run harder and faster and things. So.
And another big change that the team has had is bringing in Coach Tim Murr, a new assistant coach that we have on the team. Can you kind of describe what he's done for you and your running and how that has helped the team?
Well, he's kind of showed that even old people, you can keep doing cross country even when you're 60, which is close to what age he's at. And then he's actually helped the team out a lot because Coach Christian also is assistant coach of basketball. So when he can't be there, he's out recruiting, we have another coach that can actually run drills with us instead of just having, like last year, Coach Christian was when he was recruiting, had to just kind of post a workout and say, I hope you do it on your own. And you really didn't have that incentive to go out and say, oh, I could skip because no one else is going to notice if I don't run. So with another coach there, you actually do have to show up because you're going to have to do something that day.
And we were kind of talking beforehand, and we talk a lot in practice about the growth and development of the team, bringing in new athletes and things like that. How would you say the relationship of the cross-country team is overall?
I'd say that the team is a pretty close-knit network. You get to know, I know everybody runs at different speeds, but occasionally you do have slow workouts, so you do have time to get to know people. You work out, sometimes longer on long runs, and you get to know people. So it's a pretty close-knit relationship with.
And what are some of the things that you've learned about people just randomly in some long run discussions?
Cole does not like running anything longer than 9 miles. That's the big thing. We had a very interesting discussion about that one day.
Okay, and in the course of these long runs, I do them as well, and you kind of talk about a variety of things, and you talk about how sometimes this is a stress reliever. Do you ever talk about like school or anything going on like that, or is it more like personal? Is it personal life, just trying to get your stress out?
It can be anything from school to personal issues to family issues.
Okay.
So it's a wide variety.
And what would you say? I know we have EHC swag, and I know you guys are dying to get that out there. Can you kind of explain what EHC cross country swag is?
The SWAGS is an acronym that Coach Christian came up with, and it stands for speed, work ethic, agility, and
Attitude.
Attitude
And guts.
Yeah.
And how do you incorporate that in the workout?
Well, everyone hopes to be fast, which is speed, and then work ethic is just that you show up to practice every day and you try your hardest. And attitude, we got to keep positive attitudes when we run. And then guts.
You just push it all the way to the end, because you've got to push it. Obviously, you don't want to run that last mile, but you just keep yourself going, and you hope that you have enough to sprint at the end.
Okay, going into ODAC championships now, we've got EHC swag, we've got this attitude of the teammates. What do you expect out of both the men and women's cross country team going into Saturday's meet at it's a Lynchburg course in Bedford?
I expect that we'll do better than people think we are. We're going to do. I think we were projected to finish near the last place in the conference, but I think we're definitely we'll beat the expectations for that.
Okay, and going on to the women's side, I know we've added four people opposed to last year's 2. How is your relationship? I know that we perceive it maybe differently than you guys do. So what do you guys feel like the relationship between the men and women's cross country team is, since we spend so much time together?
I think the relationship is pretty close, and like you said, we do spend a lot of time together. You do get to know them, especially when you do warm-ups and things like that. Obviously, the guys are a lot faster than the women, so a lot of times they leave the women, and we do encourage each other when we see each other, because we run loops on campus, so we run by each other and act kind of crazy and wave at each other and do other things. So.
Well, thank you guys for both coming on the set. I know we have practice together, but it's nice to kind of get to know the cross-country team a little bit more in depth. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
And this has been Olivia Bailey with your sports interview. Now we'll send it to Cole Conley for your sports update.